Hi, this is Davide, Alaska to Patagonia. Welcome again. Today we are gonna do an update review of my Genesis Longitude after 24,000 kilometers, because the previous one was done only after 8,000 kilometers, and people ask me if I can do a little update of my review. First of all, this is not a paid review, unfortunately. I wish it was, but it's not. However, I did not pay for this bike. As many of you knows that follows my adventure, when I got to Patagonia, I had to sell my bike to pay for flight tickets to Cape Town in South Africa. And the bike shop in Italy, where I bought the first bike, I reached out to them and asked if they could help me to get some sponsorship with a bike manufacturer. And they said, don't worry. If you need a bike to continue your adventure, we will give you a new bike for free, don't worry. And that's what happened. Bikecafe.org, if you want to give them some love, they support a few adventurers. And they didn't ask me anything in return. They didn't ask me nothing. They give me clothes when I need them, and they just do it because they like the adventure, and they have no gain whatsoever, because it's just a simple shop in Italy. They have a website where you can purchase, but they're not a very big company. My Genesis Longitude is a 2018 model. The 2020 is basically the same. They are both under 14 kilos. I think it's 13.750 grams. The only difference that I could find on the technical sheet of the new model is that the rims are a little different. My rims are were Scraper WTB Scraper I40, and on the new bike there is the I35, so they are 5 millimeters shorter, which probably is a good choice because it gives you a wide range of tires that you can fit on those rims, probably from 1.8 inches up to 3 inches. The 40 millimeter ones, it's more probably from 2.2 to 3 inches. The 45 that I use, I think you could fit like 2.4, but it's basically they are for plus size tires, 2.8, 3 inches. Later we will get more into the rims, because that's one of the negative points that I have to talk about this bike, negative and positive. Overall, this is a 27.5 plus size bike, which means that you can fit 27.5 plus tires, 2.8, 3 inches maximum. And alternatively, you can use conventional 29 inches tires and wheels, and the tires maximum 2.4 for the 29 conventional. And that's a good option to have, because even if you're in the middle of nowhere and you have some problems with the wheels, and you cannot find this size, you cannot find a replacement, you can switch to 29ers that nowadays they are very popular. I've seen them on supermarkets in all over Africa. Basically, I think you can find them pretty much everywhere. It comes with a Shimano deore group set. The rims are tubeless ready, I forgot to mention that. And what else? It has some Gorilla cages that comes with the bike. They're like anything cages. And it has plenty of eyelets for fitting back racks, front racks, anything cages. Just plenty of those eyelets. You can fit mud guards as well. So what are the things that I changed or customized on my bike? The first thing I did was to fit some pedals that have double use. You can use with the clipless shoes with the cleats, or you can use them with flat shoes, one side or the other. Then I replace the seat, and I replace it with a Brooks B17C. I replace the handlebars with some Jones H bars with some ergo grip ends. I also change um, the brakes, because the bike came with hydraulic brakes, disc brakes of course, and I changed them with some mechanical disc brakes, Avid BB7 Road, which I really like. I don't know if they change anything, but they feel like working much better than the BB7 that I had on the Surly Disc Tracker. So I'm very happy about the brakes. Another thing that I changed that is not standard is the headset cap, and I replace it with a Niner beer cap. And I'm using the stock cassette. It's 1140, and it's a 2x 3626. I use a tubeless setup for the tires, and the first experience was with the Schwalbe Nobby tires, 2.8 and 3 inches in the front. With the back wheel, I did about 10,000 kilometers, and then I damaged the tire. It could have gone a little bit longer, but I damaged and I had to replace it. And in the front, I did so far 14,000 kilometers, and it's still good for another while. And I will let you know how much they're gonna last. But so far so good with the tubeless setup. I was able to find sealant pretty much everywhere. I mix different type of sealant. You can find sealant pretty much everywhere in Africa as well, because they use them for motorbikes. Um, so all in all, I was pretty pleased with the tires. I forgot to mention that with an I-45, so with 45 rims, the chain on the granny gear is very close to the tire, and this is with the Butcher Black Diamond from Specialized. With the Schwalbe Nobby Nick, the chain was actually slightly touching the walls of the tire, so it depends on the tire. And this is with the 2.8 inches tires, so on the back I wouldn't be able to fit 3 inches tires, because I think it would touch too much. I wouldn't be able to use probably the last gear. On the new model that comes with the i35, you probably I would guess you're able to fit 3 inches tires at the back, also because I've seen it written on their website, if I'm not mistaken. But with I40 or I45, you cannot fit 3 inches at the back. You can fit it in the front though, 3 inches tires. This is not a 3 inches tires, but before this I had a 3 inches tires. With a 3 inches tires, you don't have loads of clearance if you have a mud guard or things like that. But I was running it with this plastic mud guard, and it was fine. I think if some mud builds up, it's gonna get stuck very quickly with a 3 inches. I really like this bike. It's been a fun bike to ride, both on dirt, on sand. If it's very sandy, it's still difficult. Even I remember in Kenya on Lake Turkana, I had a front tire, 3.3 inches, and 2.8 at the back, and it was still a bit difficult. But overall, it's a fun. It's a fun bike. I really enjoy the plus size tires. They are very gentle on my back, and Overall, it was even the rolling resistance on the road was pretty good. I didn't find that much of a difference between this bike and the Surly Disc Tracker with the Schwalbe Marathon 2 inches tires on paved road. But obviously, this is a bike where that you will enjoy a lot on dirt roads, on single tracks, on double tracks. The problems that I had with this bike, well, basically I broke the eyelets where my front rack was fitted on the fork, but that was at the beginning was the first time was a mistake that my jacket got caught into the wheel, and while wrapping up on the wheel, it's basically it pushed out the rack, and basically the eyelet snapped. And from there, I started to have many problems with the, and I think they all comes from this original mistake that I did. But yeah, it was many problems with the front rack. That is a Surly front rack. I don't know if I wanna recommend it because I had so many problems, but I carry lots of weight on that front rack. Still, I think it's guaranteed for 30 or 35 kilos, and I don't think I carry that much. And it snapped several times in several places. Um, and that's obviously doesn't come with the bike. It's something extra, but for me it's part of the full package. Now we need to talk about a bit the rims, because as I mentioned, the bike comes with a scraper I40, and now they switch to I35, which gives you a better range of tires you can fit there. But in my experience, this is not a very robust rim. So if you're doing a load tour, you might end up having some problems. I cracked the rims in 15 places within 2,500 kilometers. Then, and that's where there is another huge problem. The huge problem is that when I contacted Genesis to get support for my problem, I didn't get a reply for a long time, and I sent emails, I sent messages on their website, I sent messages on Twitter, on Instagram, and they wouldn't get back to me. A month before, I contacted them because I wanted an information. I was gonna do a review, and I wanted a technical information about the frame, and they never got back to me. And even there, I contacted on Instagram, on Twitter, and on the contact form they have on their website, zero. So the worst part of this bike is that Genesis basically doesn't do a good job at customer service. So that's why if you buy it, you should buy it from a dealer, from your local bike shop that you know that they're gonna support you. It's like bikecafe.org. They gave me the bike. I know that when they sell one of their bikes, then they do like a very good after sale customer support. So wherever you are in your area and you're thinking about this bike, it's better that you find a local dealer that you can trust, that will always be there to assist you and to do warranty. So then, because they didn't offer any support, I contact WTB, and they have a stellar customer support, and they were able to replace the rims in Africa, and it was a bit of a logistic mess, but I was able to build 2 new wheels in Malawi. They were not built properly, so I had at least the front one, I had to take it apart and build it again in Tanzania and Dar es Salaam. And from there, it all went well for another about 18,000 kilometers. And when I was in Turkey, I discovered like 2 cracks on the same day, one in the back wheel and one in the front. And it was downhill from there. I did another 6,000 kilometers, and now they have loads of cracks. I didn't check, but I'd say at least another 15 probably. But again, WTB, great customer support. I contacted and they sent already 2 replacement rim, and these times they sent 2 KOM tough I-45, so they are 45 millimeters, and they're supposed to be much tougher than the scrapers. So I'm gonna test them, and then maybe in the future I will just do a review of the KOM tough, and I will let you know how I felt. Another problem that I had with this bike was the hubs. The Shimano deore hub, I don't think they're suited for a very tough loaded long traveling or adventure, because on the back one, even though most of my weight is on the front, on the back one I had to change the axles and the cones twice, and the bearings too. I broke basically I had to replace the bearing twice on my back wheel and twice on my front wheel. So yeah, I think going forward, I will have to find when I build the 2 new wheels, I will have to find a more rugged hub. The other problem that I had was that the front bolt of the seat post snapped, and that was about after 23,000 kilometers. I don't know if it was like if I didn't tighten it properly. Um, Maybe there was more torque on the front rather than the back. That I'm not sure. Two anything cages fitted on the chainstay at the back, and they're fitted very simply with a bolt at the bottom and to zip tie on the top part, and it works. It stays in place. I didn't have any problem. I had a different system and it broke after less than 1,500 kilometers, and so now I have this system basically almost 23,000 kilometers. It works. I didn't have any problems. As I said, I'm pleased with the choice. I will continue the journey with this bike unless there is another bike company that would like to sponsor me and give me a new bike, maybe in titanium. Just kidding. The bike is nice. It's dependable. It's trustable, except a few things in the wheels that could be a little improved or upgraded, especially the hubs and the rims. And other than that, it's a fun bike. I really enjoyed it, and I would really suggest it to other people that are gonna do a long distance bike travel, that they enjoy dirt, they have back problems, and plus size tires. They will take care. They will be gentle on your back. And thank you very much for listening. If you got some useful information, like it or dislike it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and remember that I dropped the videos in 3 languages for tutorials and reviews. So if you get a notification because you hit the bell icon and it's in Italian or in Spanish, just go to the website and you will to the YouTube channel, and you will also find the English version for you. See you forgot. Going forward, I will publish 2 videos a week, so one on Sunday and the other one either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the schedule. Ciao!